Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. बोलो 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 सब लोग जोर से बोलिए. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bando Mui Savadana Mate Bando Mui Savadana Mate Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavatoria Jai Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavatoria Jai Krishna Prapti Hoyanha Hoite Krishna Prapti Hoyanha Hoite Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Korya Aikya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Korya Aikya Arana Koriho Mane Asha Arana Koriho Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rate Aise Utama Goti Shri Guru Charane Rate Aise Utama Gati Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Chakudan dilo de janme janmi Prabhu se Chakudan dilo de janme janmi Prabhu se Deve gyan hriday prakashito Deve Gyan Hide Prakashita Prema Bhakti Yaha Hoite Avidya Vinashayate Prema Bhakti Yaha Hoite Avidya Vinashayate Vede Gaya Hara Charita Vede Gaya Hara Charita Shigaru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Shigaru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Jivana Lokanath Lokera Jivana Ha ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deha Moripada Choya Ha ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deha Moripada Choya Eveyat Goshote Bhuvana Eveyat Goshote Bhuvana Ha ha Prabhu Kaura Doya Deha More Pada Chaya Aha Prabhu Kaura Doya Deha More Pada Chaya Eveyas Goshote Bhuvana Dela Prabhupada Patita Pavana Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai go Haribo, 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 go Haribo. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachacha Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai go Haribo, 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 go Haribo. 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 Nitai go Haribo, 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 I go Haribo.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Darshan Bhagavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Nandar Agom Vigamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Pasyan Dipan Dikayanti Tiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
सब लोग प्रेम से बोलिए हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama शकल शकल देख के नहीं लगता राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, बोलिए बोलिए कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare
Hari, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna. Radha Madhava
Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chati Yamuna Tiravana Chati Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chati Yamuna Tiravana Chati Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath to Radhe Radhe. Jai Radha Shama Sundara Radha Shama Sundara Radhe Radhe. Jaya Lalita Visakha Lalita Visakha Lalita Visakha Jaya Lalita Visakha. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaum Vishnupatram Sa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotarasatsi Srimad. His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charanara Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nityalila Pavista Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotarasatsi Srimad. His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Shri Sanatan Bhattara Guna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasara Guna Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Shikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Sisi Radha Krishna Gopa Gopina Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Braj Bhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Sinavadvit Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Gangamai Ki Jai. Yamunamai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagvatam Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale. Srimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Dhamini. Prabhupada Sasajam Yapakasha Vitiraja Vacharankavan Sagura Pati Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta Swamin-niti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Om Jnanantimirandasya Jnana Salakaya Chaksurundilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaniswari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We continue reading from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 16. Lord Krishna chastises the serpent Kaliya. Text number 31. Krishnasya Garbha Jagato Ati Barabashanam Parshni Prahara Parirugna Panata Patram Ristavahim Adhyang Upasedor Amusya Patnya Artha Slatahad Vashana Bhushana Kesha Banda Krishnasya Garbha Jagato Tibarabasanam Parsni Prahara Parirugna Panata Patram Dristvahing Adyang Upasidhor Amusya Patnya Artaslatad vasana bhushana kesabanda Krishnasya garvo jagatoti barabasana Parsni pahara parirugna panapapatram Drisvahingadyang upasidora musyapatya Artaslatad varsana bhushana kesabanda Krishnasya garva jagatoti varabasana Parsni pahara parirugna pranata patram Drisvahingadyang upasidora musyapatnya Artaslatad vasana bhushana kesabandaha Krishnasya garva jagato tribarabasana Parsni prahara parirugna panaparatram Disvahingadyang upasedur amusyapatnya Artaslatad vasana bhushana kesabanda Matajis, Garva jagato tribaravasanam Parsni prahara parirugna panapanatram Word for word meaning, Krishnasya, of Lord Krishna, Garva, in whose abdomen, Jagataha is found, the entire universe, Atibhara, by the extreme weight, Avasanam, fatigued, Parshni, of his heels, Prahara, by the striking, Parirugna, shattered, Pana, his hoods, Atapatram, which were like umbrellas, Drispa, seeing Ahim, the serpent, Adyam, the primeval Lord, Upashidhu, approach, Amusha of Kaliya, Patnya, the wives, Arta, feeling distressed, Slatat, disarrayed, Vashana, their clothing, Bhushana, ornaments, Keshabandha, and the locks of their hair. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. When Kaliya's wives saw how the serpent had become so fatigued from the excessive weight of Lord Krishna, who carries the entire universe in his abdomen, and how Kaliya's umbrella-like hoods had been shattered by the striking of Krishna's heels, they felt great distress. With their clothing, ornaments, and hair scattered in disarray, they then approached the eternal personality of Godhead. Please repeat. When Kaliya's wives saw how the serpent had become so fatigued from the excessive weight of Lord Krishna, who carries the entire universe in his abdomen, and how Kaliya's umbrella-like hoods had been shattered by the striking of Krishna's heels, they felt great distress. With their clothing, ornaments, and hair scattered in disarray, they then approach the eternal personality of Godhead. Purport. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Kaliya's wives had been disgusted with their husband because of his demoniac activities. They had been thinking, quote, if this atheist is killed by the punishment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then let him be killed. We will become widows and engage in the worship of the Supreme Lord, unquote. But then, the ladies noticed Kaliya's facial expression and other bodily features, and they understood that Kaliya had indeed taken shelter of the Lord within his mind. Seeing that he was manifesting symptoms of humility, remorse, regret, and doubt, they thought, just see how fortunate we are. Our husband has now become a Vaishnava. Therefore, we must now endeavor to protect him. They felt affection for their repentant husband and severe distress because of his miserable position, and thus, altogether, they went into the presence of the Supreme Lord. Jai. Krishna Shagarbo Jagato Tribarabhasanam Parshni Prahara Parirugna Panaparpatram Drisba Himajjang Upasidora Musha Patnya Artas Latadvasana Bhushana Keshabanda. So, we were just hearing a few days ago about the Supreme Lord's dancing and the hoods, specifically on the 100 hoods of Kaliya. In the previous life, Kaliya is a sadhu. He is a yogi during the Manvantar of Swayambhu Bhamanu. And his name was Vedasira. He was meditating. But then there's another sadhu who came. His name is Asvasira. But he didn't let him meditate with him. He says, no, this is only for me. You cannot come. And therefore, he was cursed. He was cursed to be a serpent. When you think of a serpent, or when you see a serpent or a snake, what do you think immediately? But inside, dangerous, enviousness, what else? Cruel, very, very dangerous. You don't go play with the snakes. So, it so happened that there is a part here in Vrindavan. It's called Kaliya Daha. Omiko Parikrama, you will see that area where there is the Kadamba tree also, still there. In Yamuna, in those days, is about, the widest part is about 8 miles long. Quite a distance. And it says that even the demigods cannot swim, cross. It's too wide. It's too wide. But there is this area where no one goes. Even if there is a bird that will be passing by there and smell that poisonous gas, fumes, immediately that bird will drop dead. No one goes there. But somehow, one day, see, Lord Krishna and along with Lord Balaram, they will all go together with the cowherd boys all the time. But some days Lord Balaram doesn't come for some other reason. And this time Lord Balaram was not there. So with the calves and the other cowherd boys, Lord Krishna, they reach up to this far. Because this area is kind of like secluded, and therefore the water is full of poison. There is this one asura called Kaliya, that was the sage. And he considered this place as his territory. No one should come here. And because of the poisons there, no one comes. But somehow, because of their playing, they ended up going there. And Kaliya, he will make holes, dig holes, where by his mystic power, he'll be able to live there along with his patnis, nagapatnis, the wife or the wives, and the children, snakes, and the whole family. So he considered this as his territory. And he lived there for many, many yugas. Not just for a few years, yugas. Quite a long time, thousands and thousands of years. And somehow, when the cowherd boys came and the calves, they smelled the fume and they also get affected. But Lord Krishna revived them immediately. And what he did is that he wanted to teach a lesson to this Kaliya. This Kaliya is very cruel. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, those who are cruel, those who are envious, those who are very inimical towards others, there is no place for them in Braj. They are not accepted. Or even if they are here, their place here is temporary. Eventually, they'll be kicked out of Braj. Just like Kaliya. So what happened is that Lord Krishna wanted to... See, when Lord Krishna performed his pastimes, he accomplished many, many things, all at the same time, just like what we've heard in the previous pastimes, Brahma Vimohan Lila. So he decided, I am going to teach him a lesson. But even before that, the wives, they are devotees, they are Vaisnavas. The wives of Kaliya, they're always telling Kaliya, you should surrender unto the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's our only shelter. No one else in this world can protect us. And that tree, everything around that area are dead, except the trees. Because there is one tree, the Kadamba tree also, it says that this is also called Krishna tree. Because Lord Krishna stepped on that tree, climbed on that tree, and also the other trees, they were all saved because of this Kadamba tree. The Kadamba tree has flowers like yellowish. Only you can find them in Vrindavan. Seasonal as well. So he climbed and he started himself, like prepare himself, like a wrestler. He tied his chadar on his waist, very tight, ready for the fight. So he jumped. Actually, even before that, Kaliya was sensing that somebody is around here. Somebody is entering my territory. The snakes, actually, they don't have ears. Do you know that? Yes? So how can they hear? Because when Lord Krishna also jumped onto the lake, there's a big splash, Yamuna. And he can see that the surface of the water became disturbed. So he definitely, for sure, something here who's not supposed to be here. Because no one disturbed my lake here. So what happened is that he saw Lord Krishna and he was captivated by the beauty of Lord Krishna. Krishna is all attractive. His heart, within his heart, he says, who is this personality? He's so beautiful. So everyone in Vrindavan, the Brajavasis, including the animals, birds, plants, trees, they're all attracted to Krishna. And this demon also, he became attracted to Lord Krishna. He never thought seeing such a beautiful personality like Lord Krishna. But he was envious and cruel because he doesn't want anyone to be there. Prabhupada, I'm going to give you a statement coming from Prabhupada about what he says about enviousness. If someone has envy toward anyone, he is not a devotee, but only a show bottle. Therefore, the success of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON mission to save the world is dependent on the envy-free environment. All the devotees work in all their departments to keep the Sankirtan to be pushed alive. According to the scriptures, there are two kinds of living beings who are envious. Sarpa krura, kala krura, sarpat kruta tara kala. Mantro sadhi vasa sarpa, kalam kena nivaryate. There are two kinds of envious living entities, the snake and the man snake, or the man habituated to snake-like qualities. Of the two, the man snake is more dangerous because while a serpent can be subdued by mantra or herbs, the man-snake cannot be subdued. Prabhupada says the whole world is envious of each other. And the reason why we're still here in the material world is because we are still envious. If one is envious of another person, ultimately he is envious of God. The materialists, they're envious with each other. Are the materialists envious of the devotees? Yes or no? Yes. Now, are the devotees envious of another devotee? Sometimes. Sometimes. That's very heavy. Are the devotees envious of the materialist? So why is it the devotee is envious of another devotee? Yes, ignorance. It says that envy is the only thing that we cannot dovetail in Krishna consciousness. This envious mentality is the most difficult to give up because of identification of the body as the self. Yes, ultimately that is ignorance. When a devotee is envious of another devotee, he says, why is he always talking about Krishna? Why is it he always wanted to do japa? Why does he always wanted to engage himself in some service? Have you seen a devotee like that? Yes? But inside, actually, he wanted to get rid of that devotee and he wanted to do his service. We've seen some devotees like that, but not all the time. Because the more you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the more you read Srila Prabhupada's books, then all of this anarthas, envious mentality also go away. So here, Lord Krishna, when he jumped on the lake, he started to play, play splash, play around. And then when he saw Kaliya, he jumped on his head. What kind of pious activities a serpent, an envious, cruel, full of menace, had that opportunity to have Lord Krishna's lotus feet on top of his head? Everyone, all the devotees, all the yogis, they're all meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord to attain and take shelter unto his lotus feet. And what is this? He's a demon and he got the Lord. Now his Kaliya's hoods are full of jewels. It says that Lord Krishna's lotus feet, because of dancing in the hoods of Lord Kaliya, then it became reddish as well. Because of these jewels, the color turned into reddish hue. Now, the news spread somehow because there were 3 omens that happened in the sky, on earth, and the body of the Brajavasis. On earth, the earth started to tremble. Earthquake, that is sign of a bad omen. From the skies, meteors started to fall from the sky. And in their bodies, they felt twitching on their left body and twitching on the left eye. You had this experience also? Prabhupada said that also, right? Shri Prabhu? No, some. If your left eye twitched, something not favorable is going to happen. So they figured out that Krishna is in trouble. Krishna is in trouble. But Krishna is nowhere to be found. You cannot find him because no one goes to this area, Kaliya Deha. Right? Do you know how they trace Lord Krishna where he is? By his footprints. His footprints and the sole of his lotus feet, there are different markings. Arrows, gold, even altar. All of the great personalities in the Vishnu Tattva categories, they all have these different imprints on the sole of their lotus feet. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're all different. Srimati Radharani, Krishna Balaram, Gaur Nitai. How is it that the imprints of Lord Krishna's lotus feet can be still traced? Because there's wind. How come the wind not able to wash away? No. Planet Earth says that she considered the imprints of Lord Krishna's lotus feet to be her ornaments. Even the animals, the birds, Brajavasis, they don't step over Lord Krishna's imprints of his lotus feet. And we should learn from this also. It says in the Shastra that we should not be crossing over the shadow of more elevated devotees than us. It's like we have our Navayigendra Maharaj, you know, when he do his parikrama of Tulsi, he will not go and cross where the Tulsi's shadow will be there. You notice that? Yes? Of course, it's very difficult to do it here. There are thousands of devotees here. So what happened is that they traced Lord Krishna where he is by going towards Kaliyadeha. Yes. Now, when Mother Yasoda saw, she fainted. Actually, she wanted to go into the lake to save her son. But she was stopped by other Brajavasis. Instead, they consoled her by singing the glories of the Lord's pastimes. Somehow or other, they wanted to ask also the cowherd boys, but they were stunned. They're not able to think. Their mind is shaken that they're not able to say what happened. So Lord Krishna started to dance. And it says here that he's so heavy. He's so heavy because the entire universe, like we've heard also that story when Lord Krishna was teased by his cowherd boyfriends that he ate dirt, then the Lord's mother opened his mouth, and actually he's not having the entire universe on his throat. It's on his abdomen, inside. The whole universe. Universal form. So it says, the Acharya says that when Krishna sensed that Kaliya became attracted to him, he gave himself up. That for 1 muhurta or 2 hours, he was wounded up with a coil, like a coil. The tail of Kaliya was holding Lord Krishna for 1 muhurta, 2 hours. It's like we have Brahma Muhurta hour, 2 hours before sunrise, which is the most conducive, the best time for practice in Krishna consciousness or spiritual life. And Krishna did not move for 2 hours. Why did he let himself to be under the grips of Kaliya? He says that this is like an embrace. An embrace. And he wanted to bite also later on, because ultimately when Lord Krishna saw the Brajabasis were really like in anguish, suffering so much, he doesn't want them to suffer because of his suffering. They think that he's suffering, but actually he's not suffering. He's enjoying, because he considered this to be like an embrace of Kaliya towards him. So much so that when he expanded himself, he was released. There was another pastime that I was thinking of, that when Lord Krishna also made himself gigantic. Which pastime is that? When the demon will burst. Agasura. Yeah, he was small, right? Like an ordinary child, but then he became bigger and bigger and bigger, and then ultimately burst on the head of Agasura. So he was released, and then now Kaliya is trying to bite him. And this biting is considered to be like kissing, offering of kiss. An example again I was thinking of is just like when Bhishmadev was throwing arrows to Lord Krishna. Krishna promised in the Bhagavad-Gita or in Mahabharata that he will not fight, but he wants this chivalry, that loving relationship with Bhishmadev towards himself, that he let himself even get touched by the arrow or arrows. And he says that this, and there's some blood also, even though Krishna doesn't have blood. And this is the sign of kiss mark, love mark. It's like, some boys and girls, they will kiss and then they will have a mark of the kiss. So this is the same. So, yes, they were thinking, oh, let him be killed. The Nagapatnis, let him be killed. Yeah, he deserved this. He's very cruel. Let the personality of Godhead kill him. But then, Lord Krishna also saw in the face of Kaliya that it was changed. Same with the Nagapatnis. And this is the signs of Sattvika Bhav. Prabhupada, or the one who translated this in the purport, they didn't say these symptoms of Sattvika Bhav: humility, remorse, regret, and doubt. Now they understood that, Nagapatnis understood that now Kaliya is under the shelter of his guru. Kaliya accepted now Krishna as his guru, to be given instructions. Just like later on we will hear that different instructions coming from Lord Krishna, which ultimately says, oh, there's no place for you here in Vrindavan, you better go. And that's why Prabhupada says Kaliya went to Fiji. Like Mahatma Prabhu, Fiji. There's a deities there, temple of Kaliya Krishna, or Krishna Kaliya. And Prabhupada says Kaliya is still there right now. He was purified, he became a pure devotee, that along with the Nagapatnis and their children, they left. And that area, Kaliya Deha, is purified. So, yes, it is not so easy to get rid of envy. Envy is fanned by bad association. Every one of us has envy, but then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger because of asatsanga, unwanted association. So now how to get rid of envy? We have to associate with those who are devotees of the Lord, who are trying to get rid of envy. And we can sense that. If another person is envied and is always criticizing, is always finding faults, he's trying to see only the bad things. He doesn't see the good things. So beware. Be respectful, because the worst devotee is better than the best karmi. Why? Because trying. It is there. It's trying. So, yes. Envy is fanned by bad association, and the chanting of the Hare Krishna is the only cure. There is nothing that the holy name can make it purified. Even the sins that we are about to perform in the future, there is nothing that the holy name will not be able to make it purified. Provided that we try to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, without any offenses. That is the criteria. And today is a very auspicious day. Our courtyard will be filled up with, the last time I've read, hundreds of kilos of flower petals. Not just 1 kilo. Hundreds of kilos to provide a nice place where Radhe, Shyam, Lalita, and Visakha will enjoy their pastimes, this Noka Vihar. Noka means boat and Vihar means pastimes. Beautiful pastimes. There is a place, there are many pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Usually both pastimes happens during summertime. It's like right now, if you go to Yugalagat, there are many boats there waiting for you. There is one story that we've heard in Manasaganga. Manasaganga means through the mind of Lord Krishna, Ganga appeared. That was 5,000 years ago. Because the Brajabasis, they've heard that if you go take bath in Ganga, then many of your sinful reactions will be washed away, will be cleared. And therefore, through the mind of Lord Krishna, he created Ganga. And he told his father, Nanda Baba, he says, you don't have to go. You don't have to go to Ganga. That's very far. At least, you go to Haridwar. That's quite a distance. Ganga is here. Really? Okay, I can prove to you that Ganga is here. Because when the Brajabasis came, Ganga Devi personified Ganga. She was riding on her carrier. What's the carrier of Ganga? Crocodile. When they saw the crocodile and the most beautiful personality, Ganga Devi, they concluded, yes, this must be Ganga. So one time also, the gopis, with their milk products, they used to sell their milk products in the local market across Ganga. Now, if you, Manasaganga, and if you go there, Manasaganga right now is very small area, very small. Maybe only twice the size of our temple. Not so big. But in those days, quite huge. It takes a while to cross from one side to the other shore. Vrindavan is sinking somehow in our eyes, like Govardhan Hill, sinking one seed, one size of mustard seed every day. Yamuna also going. By the end of Kali Yuga, no more Yamuna, no more Giriraj. So, that time, they were trying to cross, the gopis are trying to cross the other side to sell their sweetmeats, milk products. to the local market. And they cannot find any boat. Any boatman. There's like practically no one is around except one dilapidated, very, very old boat. And there was a young man who was wearing a red gamcha and also a red turban. So they approach him and they ask, "Can you bring us across?" So, "Yes, no problem, I'll bring you, but how are you going to pay? There must be some payment here. I don't bring anyone across for free." So they're haggling what to do. They finally decided that the boatman agrees that, "Okay, I will accept as payment some of your products, sweetmeats. Just take us across. Okay, we'll pay you, no problem." So they all jumped on the boat, and in the middle, the boatman, "Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream." There's a song like that in America. "Merrily, merrily," something like that. So now it stopped. And the boatman says, "I'm feeling weak, I'm hungry. I want some of your sweetmeats. Otherwise, I'm not be able to row. No strength now." Okay. At first they don't want to give, but eventually they gave in, the gopis, because they knew that there is no use to say no. So the boatman was like so full now. "Okay, we're ready to go." So starting row again. Then after some time he stopped. He says, "I don't think I can do it. I think I need a little bit of rest. I feel bloated here. I have so much in my stomach. So I need 2 gopis to massage my legs and 2 gopis to massage my arms." And the gopi says, "Okay, if that will make you, be able to cross, we will do that." But actually, they said, "No, we will not do that. Actually, what we will do, we will take your boat legs and we will take your boat hands and we will throw you out." No, you cannot do that. So, row, 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 row again. And after some time, there was a hole in the boat that slowly filling up the boat, the hull of the boat. And Lord Krishna, oh no, I didn't say Lord Krishna. The boatman says, "Well, I think you have to throw some of these sweetmeats out because it's not possible for us to cross. This is not, I don't think we'll be able to make it." Of course, they threw all of these sweetmeats, and after some time, the boatman says, "I think you have to throw away your jewelries as well. They're very heavy, your ornaments. So throw them out." They all agreed. So after some time, they went. The boatman started to row again. And then some rain clouds started to envelop the sky. It became dark. And the boatman says, "Actually, don't worry. Everyone is worried now because it's going to rain and it's going to be heavy winds." And the boatman says, "You don't worry. This boat is very, very strong. I'll show you." So the boatman started to rock back and forth the boat just to show that it is actually very, very sturdy, very strong. And then some lightning started to happen, thunder. And immediately Srimati Radharani went so close to the boatman because the boatman is like the only one that she thinks will be able to save her, and she trusts her arms towards the boatman, and then suddenly no more rain cloud. It became clear. But then she figured out this personality. I know this personality. Especially when she feel that there is like a very a long solid on his waist, and other gopis are thinking, what is this? Why is she embracing him? And Srimati Radharani says, don't worry, you know this personality as well. And she took the flute from the waist of the boatman, and see, none other else who has this flute. And everyone started to clap and laugh. This is the pastimes of the Lord. Ultimately, the pastimes of the Lord is to intensify our love for Him, either in these pastimes of Kaliya, seemingly He is suffering, but actually He is enjoying. He reciprocates to Kaliya in such a way that, yes, actually I will make you a devotee. And with the gopis, either the gopis or the cowherd boys or Kaliya, the main thing is that Krishna fulfills everyone's desires, and ultimately the result is to increase their love towards Him. So this is our goal. Ultimately, we don't have any other business. Our only business is to purify our hearts so that one day, by the mercy of Sri Hari Guru and Vaishnavas, we'll be able to see also these pastimes of the Supreme Lord. No other way. I have a book here. This is written by one of our devotees here. I'm just going to make a quote here. This was a lecture, Srila Prabhupada in Montreal, 1968. You dance with Krishna, Kaliya dancing also on the top, either rasa dance or the boys dancing also. You dance with Krishna, you eat with Krishna, you talk with Krishna, you enjoy with Krishna. Krishna will also kiss you. Then Prabhupada laughed. Krishna is very kind to everyone. Either you love Him as a lover, either you love Him as your son, either you love Him as your friend, or you love Him as your master. In whichever way you like, you can love, and Krishna will respond. So hope against hope, we will also be able to dance with Krishna, eat with Krishna, and Krishna will kiss you. Hare Krishna. Do we have time for one question, my dear sir? Any question? Any comments? Yes, sir.
So if you find yourself being jealous and envious, and I guess there's really no atonement for that because you have to just continue doing your devotional service, so that you may get callous to that, because they say that if you slip and fall, if you're envious or jealous, but continue doing your devotional service, but then when they become a little bit like, hey, it doesn't matter if I'm jealous or envious, it doesn't
for this. He who's trying his best in spite of so many shortcomings, so many hurdles, so many problems, so many bad habits, this can all be washed away. All of this can be nullified if he accepts an authority. The problem here is that if you don't accept any authority, even your Guru Maharaj, then there's no hope. Ultimately, someone will tell him who has a relationship or has an authority above him, saying, "My dear sir, I'm sorry, it's below the belt. You're out of bounds. This should not go on anymore. You have to stop. Otherwise, you go to hell." Ultimately, because Vaishnava Parad is the most grievous offense. Huh? You will not find your place in Braj. That is the part to accept, to find yourself away from the association of devotees. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this world, the most painful is feeling of separation from devotees. We can't afford. No way. It's a lot of suffering in that one. Painful. I'm not going to say anymore, or I guess we stop here. I would like to welcome His Grace Mahatma Prabhu. He will be with us for 2 weeks, yes. And I would like to extend an invitation. I was thinking for him to give us some seminar how we can improve our chanting. And not be envious. Okay? Everybody say Haribol who wish to have that. Now we have a rain check now from Mahatma Prabhu. We'll arrange, but you must be registered. This is serious. It's not you go in and out. You have to register, okay? It's like Bhakti Brihat Bhagavat Maharaj. He did nice seminar. Everyone's like, those who are not coming for Mangalartik and chanting their rounds here, we started to see them. Now we're going to go up now. Up and up and up, okay? Hare Krishna.
Everyone's going to go back to local Vrindavan after this next seminar.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki! Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj, so many sampradaya has without deity worship. They have the big school, big sampradaya.
Yeah.
They more dangerous from Kaliya like that. They are not doing.